Welcome back to the deep dive. Sometimes the most um, profound innovations, they kind of hide in plain sight.
Yeah, absolutely.
We often marvel at the electric guitar itself, or maybe, the wild sounds of distortion pedals.
Right, the obvious stuff.
Exactly. But there's this one often overlooked tool that pretty much every guitarist relies on, yet, well, rarely thinks about.
The tuner.
Yeah, the tuner. It's just been sitting there, maybe on their headstock or their pedal board, or even clipped onto the guitar.
Quietly evolving right alongside the music it helps create. It's kind of amazing when you think about it.
It really is. So today, we're taking a deep dive into the, well, surprisingly rich and incredibly innovative history of guitar tuning technology.
Yeah, from really humble beginnings to these futuristic smart systems we're seeing now.
It's a journey that's honestly far more fascinating than you might first imagine.
Definitely. And our mission here is really to dig into the key innovations that have completely changed how guitars get tuned. As we go through it, you'll see how each step, from simple wooden pegs way back when to sophisticated smart systems today brought something new.
Right, more precision, maybe more convenience.
Exactly. Or sometimes it even opened up entirely new creative avenues for musicians. It's about more than just hitting the right note. It's about, well, enabling the art.
Okay, let's unpack this then. We've got some great source material looking at the whole history of guitar tuning. Let's dive in.
Sounds good.
So let's rewind way back, the earliest days. Imagine trying to tune your guitar with what were basically just tapered wooden pegs.
Friction pegs. Yeah.
Friction pegs. You turned them by hand, pushed them in, maybe pulled a bit, and you only got really coarse control over the pitch, right?
Oh, incredibly coarse. You push, you twist. It sounds almost primitive now.
I mean, the frustration must have been immense. Beyond just like the fiddly manual part, what was the real headache with those things day to day?
Well, the fiddly part was bad enough, you're right. But the hidden challenge, the thing that drove musicians crazy, was the sheer inconsistency. Ah, okay. These pegs were super sensitive to, everything. Humidity changes, temperature shifts, even just how worn the wood hole was.
Right.
So you might get it perfectly in tune backstage, walk onto a hot stage.
And suddenly you're sharp or flat?
Exactly. You're constantly tweaking, maybe even mid-song. It really limited how reliable you could be, your performance, your creative flow.
Yeah, I can see that.
And that's why the late 19th century saw such a huge leap forward with geared machine heads.
The worm and gear tuners we still basically use today.
Pretty much, yeah. That mechanism was revolutionary because it gave you far finer adjustment, much smoother.
And, crucially, more stability.
Much greater tuning stability. That was the key.
Yeah.
And these precision tuners, they became the standard on most production guitars by, say, the 1930s. Changed the game for reliability.
Okay, so that fixed the basic mechanical instability. But the quest for, perfect pitch, that wasn't over.
Not by a long shot.
Especially as music itself just exploded in the 60s with all sorts of new sounds. The demands for tuning precision must have gone way up.
Absolutely. Even the best machine heads tuning purely by ear wasn't always cutting it, especially in studios or complex live settings.
And that's when electronics step in, right? A radical shift.
Totally. 1964, Peterson comes out with the Model 70.
The world's first battery-powered handheld electronic tuner.
That's the one. Simple analog circuitry, but it showed you pitch deviation in real time on a little meter.
So you could actually see if you were sharp or flat. No more guesswork.
Exactly. Eliminated the frustrating guesswork. Seems basic now, but that visual feedback, a total revelation at the time.
I bet.
And Peterson, well, they didn't stop there. Just 3 years later, 1967, they bring out the Model 400 strobe.
Okay, what was different about that one?
This was the first solid-state strobe tuner. It used this rotating LED pattern.
The spinning wheel thing.
Kind of, yeah. And it showed pitch with incredible precision. We're talking plus or minus 1 cent accuracy.
1 cent in 1967. That's incredibly precise. Was that level of accuracy really needed by, the average guitar player back then, or was it more for studios and pros?
That's a good point. For maybe your average garage band, perhaps not always critical. But think about studio recording.
Yeah, getting multiple tracks perfectly in tune.
Exactly. Or orchestral players, jazz musicians needing perfect intonation to blend. It was indispensable for them.
Made the engineers' lives easier, too, I imagine.
Oh, saved countless hours. Ensured a really pristine sound on recordings. Its reliability and that pinpoint accuracy just made it the industry standard. Studios, big stages. It set a whole new benchmark for what in tune really meant.
So moving into the 70s and 80s, Professional guitar rigs start getting, well, huge. Massive touring acts, complex studio setups,
Yeah, racks and racks of gear.
and the demands on tuners grew along with them. That's when we see the rise of rack mount tuners,
Yeah.
right? Like the Peterson Autostrobe series, Korg rack tuners.
Exactly, taking the tuner off the floor and putting it into the main rig.
I can just picture, some 80s guitar hero ditching their floor tuner for this sleek rack unit. What was the biggest practical advantage for them, say, mid-show?
Well, for a touring musician, it was massive. These units offered more advanced features, for one. Things like transposable temperaments.
Meaning you could easily tune to different keys or scales?
Right, or even microtonal stuff. And adjustable reference pitch, so you weren't just stuck at A440. But maybe just as importantly, the rack format itself.
Made it part of the main protected rig.
Exactly. Integrated, robust, no more accidentally kicking your tuner or worrying about cables getting pulled out during a frantic set change. It was about serious reliability and consistency under pressure.
Plus having all those sophisticated options right there.
Yeah, they really became these sort of tuning control centers, absolute staples in studios and big tour racks, essential kit.
Okay, let's jump ahead again. 1998. This feels like a really big one for the everyday gigging player. The Boss TU2.
Oh yeah, monumental.
The first compact pedal tuner designed specifically to sit right there on your pedal board with your other stomp boxes.
Such a simple idea in retrospect, but nobody had really done it quite like that before.
Was there any hesitation? Like putting like a tuner on the board, taking up space? Or did people just get it immediately?
Oh, they got it instantly. Zero resistance, just immediate adoption. It just solved so many practical on-stage headaches.
Like what? What was the killer feature?
The mute bypass switch, hands down. Being able to tune silently, that was critical for live shows.
Right. No more awkward twang, twang, plunk sounds going through the main speakers.
Exactly. You could tune between songs even during a quiet part without anyone hearing it. Plus, it had that bright 7-segment LED display.
Easy to see on a dark stage.
Yep. And it supported flat tunings, which was becoming more common, add in the classic Boss rugged build quality.
Built like a tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just became the absolute go-to pedal tuner for pretty much every gigging guitarist for years. It really democratized convenient, silent, accurate stage tuning.
Okay, so the pedal tuner conquers the world. Then we get into the 2000s, the 2010s. The focus seems to shift again, maybe towards even more convenience and new kinds of capabilities.
That's a good way to put it. We saw some really clever stuff emerge.
Like clip-on tuners.
Exactly. Things like the Snark became ubiquitous. These little guys use vibration sensing right off the headstock usually.
So you don't even need to plug in. Silent tuning.
Yep. Super quick, super convenient, became massively popular, especially for acoustic players or for quick changes on stage views, multiple guitars. Just clip it on, tune, clip it off, discretion and speed.
And then something that felt, I don't know, genuinely futuristic when it landed in 2011, the TC Electronic Polytune.
Ah, the Polytune. Yeah, that was another game changer.
The world's first polyphonic stomp tuner. Explain that again, polyphonic tuning.
It means you could just strum all 6 strings at once.
Just hit them all.
Yep, give them a strum, and the display would instantly show you which individual strings were out of tune and whether they were sharp or flat.
Wow. Okay, that completely changes tuning on the fly, doesn't it?
Totally transformed it for live performance. No more plucking string by string, EADGBE, under the stage lights while the audience waits.
Just strum, glance down, tweak the offenders, strum again, done.
Pretty much. It must have taken a huge mental load off players in the heat of the moment. Much faster, much more efficient.
Now let's get into the really futuristic side. Stuff that almost feels like science fiction, but it's real. We mentioned automated tuning briefly.
Right, and believe it or not, the idea isn't brand new. Way back in 1994, there was this thing called the Roadie Robot Tune Master.
94, wow.
Yeah, an early attempt, a sort of retrofit system using little motors and microprocessors that could actually retune strings while you were playing, or at least without pausing for long.
That sounds wild. Did it catch on?
Not really, probably ahead of its time, maybe a bit clunky. But the concept, the instrument tuning itself, that idea stuck around.
And Gibson picked it up later.
They did. In 2007, they released the PowerTune system on some guitars. This had integrated servo motor tuners built right into the headstock under each tuning peg.
Some motorized machine heads, basically.
Essentially, yeah. Controlled by a little onboard microcomputer. And the cool part was you could instantly switch between different tunings, standard, drop D, open G, whatever, just by turning a knob.
Okay, that's pretty mind-blowing. Instant alternate tunings.
Yeah.
That raises a big question, though. How do these kinds of automated advanced systems change the actual creative process for musicians?
That's a really profound question, actually, and it's something musicians still talk about.
Does it just free up mental space? Or does it maybe encourage more experimentation?
Well, both, potentially. The immediate benefit is definitely freeing up brain space, right? Less time fiddling with pegs means more time focusing on playing, writing, connecting with the audience.
Makes sense.
But these systems also sort of democratize complex tuning. Suddenly, a beginner can switch effortlessly to, say, DID-G-AD or open C tunings that used to require a decent ear and practice to nail consistently.
So it lowers the barrier to entry for exploring different sonic palettes.
Exactly, which could absolutely foster more experimentation. On the flip side, some argue it might reduce the emphasis on ear training, fundamentally changing how guitarists learn and develop skills.
Interesting trade-off.
Yeah.
It shifts the focus maybe from the mechanics of tuning to the creative use of tuning.
I think that's a great way to put it.
So let's bring it right up to today. We look at modern tuners, things like the Boss TU3, the Peterson Scobo Stomp LE, TC Electronics Polytune 3.
The current state of the art.
They really show just how far this tech has come. They're not just simple tuners anymore, are they? They're like these comprehensive musical tools.
Absolutely. Today's high-end tuners offer, well, everything. Multi-mode tuning, you can choose chromatic or super accurate strobe or polyphonic.
Right.
They've got these amazing high-resolution displays, often color. With brightness, you can adjust for stage or sunlight. You've got buffered outputs, true bypass options for integrating perfectly into complex pedal boards.
All this stuff tone purists care about.
Totally. Plus features like storing alternate temperaments, setting custom reference pitches, and then there's the whole integration with apps via Bluetooth, or just using incredibly accurate tuner apps right on your smartphone with spectrogram displays.
It's everywhere now.
It really is. It's just extraordinary when you trace it back from their simple, often frustrating wooden pegs.
Yeah.
Tuners have evolved into one of the most essential and genuinely sophisticated tools in every single guitarist's arsenal. There's a solution tailored for basically every scenario imaginable now.
It really is incredible when you pause and think about that journey. What started as just a basic mechanical necessity, getting the strings somewhere near the right pitch, has turned into these intelligent integrated systems.
Systems that actively shape how we play and create music.
Yeah.
And that's really the core takeaway, isn't it? This whole evolution, which might seem kind of niche on the surface, it's profoundly impacted every guitarist's experience.
Made playing more precise, obviously.
Way more precise, far more efficient. But crucially, it's also opened up completely new creative doors. How musicians interact with the instrument, how they craft their sound silent tuning on stage, instant access to alternate tunings. It all feeds back into the music.
So thinking about that trajectory, that rapid pace of innovation we've just talked about, what does it mean for the future? What's the next logical step? Or maybe even the next imaginative leap for guitar tuning?
That's the fun question, isn't it? Where could it go?
We've gone from pure guesswork to visual feedback, to pinpoint accuracy, to pedals, to polyphony, even automated tuning. Could guitars, I don't know, eventually tune themselves perfectly based on the genre you select? Or maybe even adapt automatically to the room's humidity in real time?
Self-correcting based on ambient conditions. Or maybe even learning your playing style's slight intonation tendencies. It sounds wild, but given the path we've seen...
Nothing seems completely impossible anymore, does it?
Not really. It makes you wonder what future innovations might spin out from this history, what problems are left to solve, or what new creative possibilities could be unlocked next.
Definitely something for all of us, especially you guitarists listening, to mull over. Where does tuning tech go from here?
Fascinating stuff.